In this video, we're going to look at styling lists. So what I've done is I've created a little web page here that has an H4 that says ordered list, followed by a small ordered list, and it says first, second, and third for its items. And since it's an ordered list, it automatically numbers them 1, 2, and 3. Then I have an unordered list that also has 3 items, first, second, and third. And since it's unordered, it just uses a disk or a bullet point, is what we commonly call them. If you're used to doing PowerPoint, they're called bullets. But technically, they're called a disk in web design. So let's see how we can change the appearance of our list. So if we go over to our CSS sheet, and we'll do our unordered list first. So let's look at what we can do to an unordered list. So for a UL, oops, didn't want to do that, autocomplete. I'm going to put in some styles for my unordered list, and we're going to specifically look at list style type. See, it pops up there, and we're going to change our list style type. So by default, our list style type is a disk. So if I save this and I come over here and refresh it, we don't see any change. I just noticed I didn't capitalize the word second, and it's going to drive me bonkers because details are important. I like to be consistent. So disk didn't change anything because disk is the default. If we don't specify anything, an unordered list is going to use a disk. We can change that if we want. We can change it to a circle. So let's do circle. And there, now a circle instead of a disk. We can do a square. And there we have square bullet points. And we can also do none. So we can have an unordered list that doesn't actually have any symbols in front. Later, we're going to see how we can use any image we want. We'll talk about it briefly. We can put any image we want. It needs to be tiny images, but we can create our own if we want to stick them in there. So that's it for unordered list style types. Let's look at the list style types for an ordered list. So ordered list. It's auto completing when I don't want it to. So ordered list, we can also use list style type for an ordered list. And its options, we'll start with decimal. So we're looking at our ordered list up here now. We'll save that, refresh it, and you see nothing changes. So this is decimal. It's the default decimal numbers. One with a point, 2 with a point, 3 point. We can do decimal dash leading dash 0. Try that one. And now we see decimals with leading zeros in front. We can do lower Roman. So if we're trying to do an outline, we might want to use some Roman numbers, Roman numerals. So here we get 1, 2, and 3 in Roman numerals, lowercase Roman numerals. We can also do, as you might expect, uppercase Roman numerals. We get uppercase Roman numerals. We can change this to lower alpha if we want to use our normal alphabetic. Oops, I didn't save it. Normal alphabet, ABC, and as you might expect, upper alpha would work too. And as we had in unordered list, we also have the option of changing our list style type to none. So it's an ordered list without any numbers in front of it. So I'm not sure what the point of having an ordered list with no numbers, but we can do it. We always have the option of list style type none on both of those. Let's go back to, for our unordered list, let's use the default disk. And for this one, we'll use decimal for our ordered list. Save that so that I can demonstrate the list style position property. I'll start with my unordered list. We'll say list dash style dash position. And we have two options, inside and outside. So let's do that. You may not be able to see a difference here. Let's inside, no difference. Outside, no difference. Probably, I'm guessing, is what's going to happen. We don't see a difference. So when do we see a difference between inside and outside? When we have more text. So let me go for my first list item. Let's make it a little longer. Typing some nonsense, and we can do the same thing for our second list item. Save it. Okay, I did that on my unordered list, didn't I? Did. Okay, and let's shrink our screen up here a little bit. So I made my website a little bit smaller so you could see these flow onto the next line. Let's go back to my style. On my unordered list, I have list style position set to outside. That means this disk is outside of the actual elements that it's pointing out. If I change it to inside, so outside is the default. If I change it to inside, refresh, now you can see that the bullet point is actually inside the area of this text. When it flows down to the next line comes in underneath the bullet point rather than the bullet point being all the way out to the left. So that's a list style position. The last thing I want to demonstrate with lists is how to change to a custom image. Use that sparingly. So let's do list dash style dash image. Okay. Then we use URL, and inside the parentheses we have to specify the URL, the location of the image we want to use. Now that could be anywhere on the internet if we want it to be. I have inside my folder, I have two images. We're going to use the transparent star.png, star-transparent.png. It's in my images folder. So let's take a look here because this becomes important. My web template is here. Here's my index file. I have a folder with my CSS in it, which is what I'm editing over here. I also have an images folder, which is where my images are. So how do I get from my CSS file, which is that's where I'm putting this code, is in my CSS file. How do I get to tell it where to find my image? How do we get from here in our CSS folder to our image folder? Well, we have to go up one level, right? We have to go up to our main web template folder and then go back into the images folder. So to type that, to tell that where to go, we type 2 dots. That tells it to go up a level. Then we put slash and we say, now once you go up a level, look in the images folder. And then another slash in the images folder is star-transparent.png. And we need quotations around that URL. So the 2 dots tell it to go from the CSS folder where this file is at up to the main web folder, and then go back down into the images folder, and inside the images folder we'll find star-transparent.png. So this is a relative path. Relative to the location where my style is at, we need to go up one directory, down into another, and then look for the file. Let's try that. I'm going to save it. Come over here and refresh. And now you can see that the style image overrode the disk. And we get a star. And stars are on the inside there, or we can go back to outside if we want. And the stars are on the outside of our bullet point. So you got to find the tiny image or make the tiny image that you want to use for your bullet points to customize.